Welcome to Trump Wire, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Along North America's rocky coast, a seismic shift is reshaping the lobster industry. For decades, Maine's lobster was the gold standard, but now, U.S. shipments are being rejected in key markets. Meanwhile, Canada is experiencing a lobster boom, outpacing the U.S. in global trade. This isn't a minor fluctuation, it's a fundamental restructuring of a billion-dollar industry. The reasons? A mix of environmental regulations, trade agreements, and shifting consumer demands. What was once a straightforward business is now a complex geopolitical chess match. U.S. lobstermen are on the defensive while Canadian counterparts thrive. The gap between the two nations is widening, driven by differences in fishing practices, quality control, and government strategy. Understanding this shift is crucial for anyone interested in global trade and environmental policy. Over the past few years, regulatory hurdles, trade disputes, and Canada's savvy marketing have changed the game. Buyers in Europe and Asia are choosing Canadian lobster for clear reasons. From sustainability certifications to tariff advantages, Canada has built a compelling case. As we dive deeper, we'll see how these factors have created a crisis for American lobstermen and a windfall for Canadians. The lobster landscape has changed and the world is watching. The main reason U.S. lobster is being rejected? Environmental regulations, especially concerning the endangered North Atlantic right whale. American fishing gear, particularly vertical ropes, poses a risk to these whales, prompting international buyers, especially in the EU, to demand proof of sustainable harvesting. Influential watchdogs like Monterey Bay Aquarium's Seafood Watch have red-listed U.S. lobster, making it a no-go for major buyers. European companies have suspended contracts, unwilling to risk their reputation on a product linked to endangered species. Trade agreements have made things worse. Canada's CETA deal with the EU eliminated tariffs, while U.S. lobster remains taxed and less attractive. When faced with a choice, buyers pick the cheaper, certified sustainable Canadian lobster. U.S. shipments are also being held up at customs for lacking proper documentation on fishing practices. Exporters must now prove compliance with strict environmental standards, adding cost and complexity. This bureaucratic headache pushes importers toward Canada's more reliable supply chain. The rejection of U.S. lobster is driven by science, policy, and economics, leaving American lobstermen at a disadvantage. The right whale issue is more than a regulatory hurdle, it's a market barrier. Without swift adaptation, U.S. lobster risks being shut out of the world's most lucrative markets. The stakes are high, and the pressure is mounting. Canada, meanwhile, sails ahead. The U.S. must act fast or risk losing its place at the table. The world's appetite for lobster hasn't changed, but its standards have. While the U.S. struggles, Canada has rebranded its lobster as the world's premium choice. Backed by government support, Canada invested in quality, traceability, and sustainability. The message, Canadian lobster comes from pristine, cold waters, harder shells, fuller meat. Achieving Marine Stewardship Council (MSC) certification gave Canada a powerful edge. The MSC label is trusted worldwide, signaling environmental responsibility. Canada's government aggressively pursued trade deals, opening doors in Europe and Asia. Marketing tours and direct engagement with buyers built long-term relationships. The result? Canadian lobster is now synonymous with quality and reliability. In some markets, it even commands a higher price, not just due to tariffs but because it's seen as superior. Canada's rise wasn't luck, it was strategy. American and Canadian lobsters are the same species, but differences in environment and harvesting set them apart. Canadian lobsters, harvested from colder waters, are mostly hard-shelled, ideal for shipping and favored by international buyers. U.S. lobsters, especially Maine's summer catch, are often soft-shelled and fragile, making them less suitable for export. The result, importers in Asia and Europe prefer the hardier Canadian product. The biggest differentiator is sustainability certification. Canada's widespread MSC certification reassures buyers and protects brands from environmental backlash. The U.S. lacks a unified, internationally recognized seal, and the right whale controversy adds risk. For buyers, the choice is clear. Canada offers lower prices, better quality, and trusted sustainability. The U.S. product, facing tariffs and controversy, is now the riskier option. In global trade, reliability wins, and Canada delivers. The market has spoken, and the path of least resistance leads north. For now, Canadian lobster is the world's preferred catch. The US must adapt or fall further behind. Canada's strategy is paying off, literally. Trade deals like CETA eliminated tariffs, causing Canadian lobster exports to the EU to surge. In 2023, exports to the EU topped $500 million, and the numbers keep climbing. In Asia, Canada secured billion-dollar deals like the partnership with Alibaba, putting lobster in front of millions of Chinese consumers. Canadian companies invested in logistics hubs in Shanghai and Brussels, ensuring fast, reliable delivery. This infrastructure builds trust and cements Canada's reputation as a dependable supplier. US companies struggle to match this level of investment, hampered by market uncertainty. The numbers are clear. Canadian lobster exports hit record highs, while US exports stagnate or decline. These aren't one-off deals. They're the result of years of government diplomacy and industry investment. Canada isn't just selling lobster. It's selling quality, sustainability, and reliability. The world is buying, and Canada is reaping the rewards. The lobster boom is transforming Atlantic Canada's coastal towns. Fishermen are investing in new boats, processing plants are expanding, and young people see a future in the industry. The prosperity ripples out, supporting local businesses and strengthening communities. In contrast, Maine faces uncertainty and anxiety. Prices have dropped, profit margins are shrinking, and many lobstermen struggle to cover costs. Processing plants are laying off workers, and the economic pain spreads to suppliers and local businesses. The identity of these towns is tied to lobster, and its decline threatens their way of life. Many US lobstermen feel unfairly penalized, caught in a regulatory battle they didn't create. The contrast is stark: optimism in Canada, frustration in Maine. The shift in the lobster trade is more than numbers, it's reshaping lives and communities. The stakes are personal, and the future is uncertain for many on the US side. The story of lobster is now a tale of two coasts. The US lobster industry faces a crossroads. The first step: solve the right whale issue with innovative whale-safe fishing gear. Government support is crucial to help fishermen transition to new technology. Next, the US must launch a diplomatic and marketing push, resolving trade disputes, seeking tariff reductions, and building a new brand for American lobster. Regaining a favorable sustainability rating is essential, possibly through a robust science-backed certification program. Diversifying markets is key: promote lobster domestically, create value-added products, and explore new international markets. The industry can't rely on its legacy, it must innovate and adapt. The current crisis is a wake-up call. By embracing new technology, smarter trade strategies, and market diversification, the US can chart a path forward. The journey will be tough, but decisive action can restore the industry's global standing. The world still loves lobster, but the rules have changed. The future belongs to those who adapt. The next chapter for American lobster starts now.